I was going to come in then as like a radio DJ with some inane chatter to make sure you can't record the whole song, but I couldn't really. I haven't listened to the radio in so long. I honestly can't remember the kind of inane chatter radio DJs do. It's probably not dissimilar to what I do, but all right. I need to try and. Hey, Rydog, thank you very much for the tier 3 sub.
Rydog 1391 just subscribed for 83 months. Well. About 80 more months than we ever thought, but here we are. No real words, just the word thanks.
Hey, thank you very much, Rydog, for the tier 3 sub. I think the tier 3 sub broke Mario. I didn't see him dance, but that's fine. And I hope you're doing well. All right, we wanted to, God, 83 months.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Thank you for the bits as well. All right, that made Mario dance.
Rydog 1391 just shared 100 bits. Take these Twitch research bits as well.
Thank you very much for the Twitch research bits. It is appreciated. All right. Yeah, I need to try and... Do you keep my history? You did. No, that's all the Florida stuff. 1 more month and then it's 7 years. And that's just incredible. Definitely never thought I'd make it 7 years. Don't think we've got another 7 in us, but hey, I've enjoyed the 7 years. Here we go. So what about... Okay. That's what we didn't do last time, and it's been bugging me ever since we last played that we never searched for the other one in this name. Now, what we find out from that, I honestly can't remember because I can't remember where everyone is from, but it's fine. Oh, dear. Who was the Florida line? The Miami line. It was the fight at a Miami school, right? I think. Oh, Liberation Air. Stop sending me. Hey, Trinity, thank you for the bits as well. It is very much appreciated. Oh, Mario's boots are almost full. I hope you're doing well. Having a good Friday so far. We made it through another week. Ah, dear. You're very tired, but okay. How's Rio this morning, right, dog? I will not inquire as to why you're tired. None of my business. All right, now we have to go through a lot of this old research to find out where Miami came into it. Moving in the right direction, eating ish, so better. Nice. That is good. An
anonymous user gifted 5 subscriptions to the community.
Hey, thank you, Friendly Ghost, for the gifted subs. Very much appreciated. Okay, that still works for Mario. Okay, so it does seem to be the tier 3 sub that didn't work.
Hype train started.
And thank you for kicking off the hype train as well. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bu- 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 bu. Oh dear. That's a very large dancing emote. Hello! Hey, and Owen, thank you for the bits as well.
_Owen just cheered 200 bits. Finally married myself a lovely woman, someone who makes me feel born again. Asked if I was the only one, paused and her answer spun, yes, but everyone else was really a 9 or 10.
Oh, that's not that funny, but I enjoyed that. Oh dear. Mario slowly loading in. Oh dear. He'll get there. He'll get there. I have to update, like, because obviously as stuff is coming in, like the bits are fine. I know 100 bits is $1, right? I know that. That's easy. With the subs, working out how much I'm likely to get back is so fucking difficult because it change. Well, obviously it changes based on a tier 1, 2, or 3. That's not too bad. But it changes based on where the person buying it is coming from, which way the direction the wind is blowing, I think. And as far as I could see, there isn't a way to ping Twitch to just ask how much money have I made this month, which is probably good. That seems like that would be really open to abuse. Oh dear. Oh, I can't remember. Were you the two who went to Miami? We should not have. Oh God, what is your name? Flario? I'm not surprised. Flavio, that makes more sense. Did I spell that wrong? Flavio. Oh dear. Alright, we may just have to go back through the research. I can't remember. We looked for that. Alright, we know about the missing pages. Oh yeah, that's right. That's her book. I can't remember how we got onto Miami, so I can't remember who I want to be looking for in Miami. I just knew that we needed to find Miami. Oh god damn it. What rabbit hole were we going down when we found that? I've forgotten his name. Hey, thank you for the level 4 hype train. It's very much appreciated. What did I win? I honestly don't know what that's meant to be. Oh, I see. It's just like a woman with hair.
Oh, you are a professional, boss bird.
Okay. Dear. Oh, no, that's in San Diego. Shit. Okay, so it's not that part of the family. Because, yeah, they became the webs, which is how we found... I don't know how we got to that. Okay, so if you're not the Miami family, who the fuck is? Okay, at some point... I got that wrong. So we have no idea who this is. That is already done. No, not chef signature. I swear you appeared in one of these. Maybe she was going to buy stories. Edson. Oh, no, he was Brazilian. God, we should not have taken, I think, over a week off between the session to this. Dear. Let's get you to Flavio. I swear he came up somewhere else as well. Oh, that's right. She with the Ashley York thing. Okay, so we probably need to search for Nia Alves. Do. I'm gonna find out. Oh my god! Why was I so sure we needed a Miami connection? Who the fuck was I looking for? God damn. Oh, I'm so lost. All right, did I leave myself any notes?
For the Emperor!
There. Hey, LP, how's it going? Haven't these people died enough already? He's not about the dead ones. He's about trying to prove if the new ones coming out of the woodwork are real. Yeah, see, these are all in San Diego. So typical greedy bastard stuff. I mean, if I thought there was a chance that someone owed me millions, I might put my hat in the ring. I mean, I probably wouldn't because I probably couldn't be bothered, but. Okay, nice joke. Apparently it wouldn't be an issue, but some poor investigator to confirm it. I have no idea who Lucinda Jacobson is. Do I? Oh, that was the person who paid your bail. Couldn't we bother like doing unemployment paperwork? Don't know where Jacobson would come from though. I'm pretty sure that's Mary, because that's the one got us onto Mary Webb. Do. Wouldn't surprise me if this professional photographer is going to end up being the husband, who is someone called Val, I think. Because that's what led us to corporate composition. Like, a telephoto is a photography magazine, but it wasn't ever added to our periodicals. I know it was. Are we dancing? Val was on the cover of Telephoto and asked about Iraq. It's the same thing. Or are we dancing? It's funny that's not in it when we know that they were in it. Long shot. All right, this doesn't. Oh, hang on. Miami was. It was the statue, wasn't it? Yes. But the Bess Williams section has been built in 1928 mentions that Bess's young son, now an orphan, was in attendance during the dedication. It also had a later mention about a bidding war for a planned expansion of the library in 1950. The bidding was won by Wildcat Construction. So I've worked on many burners in Maryland, Florida. It seems to have ceased operations in the 1960s. It was also mentioned earlier under the headline "Constructing a Better World." Frank Wildcat Williams left Florida in 1941 on construction work and returned a hero. He won the Navy Cross for his bravery and sacrifice, having carried a fellow soldier to safety under heavy Nazi fire. Now he and his wife Ophelia Are carrying his fellow soldiers through tough times at home. Okay, so that's probably the son. He's a... Okay, well, he's not a builder. Construction? Affiliate, last name unknown. Focus on creating opportunities for soldiers, find difficulty getting back to normal. Affiliate has handled outreach to the wider local veterans who are often able to provide insight into their husband's needs and conditions. She has research outreach found 13 veterans of the World Service Ranks employees. The community support has been unendingly and overwhelmingly positive. Has got to the point where Frank bids on a project. Other local companies have decided to step back and let soldiers handle it. That's because they go there with guns. This has become a bit of a sore spot for local politicians and business owners, as the bids are often not as low as they expected. The problem for him is that essentially Frank has a selective monopoly, but any attempt to take advantage of it has caused an uproar and accusations of being un-American. It is uncertain what will become of Wildcat Construction, but at least for now we're rooting for them. Assisted on a few different military history websites. He ordered a Navy Cross. The story goes, even after being struck in the arm with a bullet, he managed to carry a fellow soldier in a retirement community in Sweetwater, Florida. An obituary on the website, the local news, was written by a surviving family. Also shares light about some of his personal life. He grew up an orphan because his family died in a hurricane. So yeah, that confirms he's the son. He could barely remember his mother, no memory of his father. After the war, he ran a construction company. He was a born joker and a shining light to those veterans who needed it most. An anecdote mentions that he used to insist he married his wife Ophelia as a matter of courtesy and convenience. She wouldn't have to change her last name. Okay, interesting. A photo is attached of Frank in his youth juggling hammers in front of one of his construction sites, as he was often known to do. According to the article, he survived by Ophelia, as well as daughters Barb and Sharon. Hey Trunks, how's it going? Alright, there he is, juggling his hammers. There's Bess in the background. Right, no. Doesn't look like there's much hidden there. So then... It was actually... Williams. Hey, RP, cheers for the lurk. Okay, this is interesting though. Okay, so one of them was adopted. Okay. And then that then leads to this. All right. Nothing for Sharon. Barb Williams is a motivational speaker and she has a website that explains the services she offers. Her company's address is listed as in Coconut Grove, Florida. The flyer has been added to evidence. Her story will surprise you, uplift you, then energize you. A lesson that anyone can take something away from. An intimate evening with a truly wonderful message. Book bar for corporate retreats, church events, or even school assemblies. The morning news anchor for a channel called WQTV12 has no online web presence whatsoever. You do find it listed on a giant list of television call signs next to the city Springfield under the heading Effingham County. Dear. You probably need to append a state name to your search to find better results. I didn't mean to do that. Springfield is capital in Illinois, but between some of the results you find that it's not located in Effingham County. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, I don't know if that helps. In Springfield, Georgia, you come across a website that lists different channels available there. The list seems to only feature broadcasts with female news anchors. The person who runs the website has ranked each using 3 categories. None are relevant to journalism. One of the entries is Channel 12, and the news anchor is listed as Greta Flores. Why do I recognize that name? Apparently used to go by Greta Jones before her divorce. Compared to the deal you've gone through to simply figure out her current name, it's way easier than you expect to find out that she has a website for a compliment. She was apparently the MC for the all-female speaking tour in 1977. The tour was called Storytellers of Sisterhood, the Mothers and Daughters of Earth. You do a search for it and see some of the stories were compiled into a book. Duh. It's my alias for Mills and Boons. It's an anthology of stories told on a few different Storyteller Sister tours. It contains direct transcripts of the most well-received stories told on stage. Ada Hale is the editor, not the sole author. One of the stories by Barb Williams has been added to your evidence. Bob Williams had turned to the first part of the story focused on 2 16-year-old girls. Your sister Sherry was a brat, always sulking, often disobedient, never on time. She borrowed things without asking and even ran away from home and sneaked back the next day like nothing had changed. My daughter Sharon, on the other hand, was a beautiful person. She had excellent marks in school, was intensely artistic and creative, and even volunteered at animal rescue. What was the difference between Sherry the brat and Sharon the beauty? Is it nature, nurture, a better education, different opportunities? The answer is nothing. There is no difference because my sister and my daughter are the same girl. Dun dun dun. Barb reveals that her daughter was the result of an unexpected pregnancy when she was only 15. I met a boy at a county fair. Unlike us, he lived in a nice part of town. He went to a good school. To a teenage girl, it felt like a fairy tale, but there were boxes all over his house. He was moving in 3 days. Those 3 days were heaven to me. The final night, he surprised me. He told me he could actually see me again soon. He planned to return to visit his grandparents. I thought I was giving him a reason to keep his promise. I never saw him again, and when I finally got desperate enough to ask around, a friend of a friend told me he hadn't even given me his real last name. Nice. Bonds about when she found out she was pregnant. I was convinced my life was over, but I had to live at home and work a part-time job, but they removed the burden of motherhood. He managed to scrape out a degree in English, and as far as my daughter was concerned, I was her much older sister. When I was younger, I thought my sister was the brat, and I wasn't wrong, but she ran away from home to work at that animal shelter. She borrowed my clothes for presentations at school, and her creativity allowed her to open up Sherry's hair. It took me far too long to realize the beauty was always there too. In fact, the brat and the beauty exist in all of us. It was my inner brat that kept me blind to the truth. And I like to say it's the beauty in me. Okay, so we think that this then is Barb, which probably stands for Barbara. I don't like the fact that nothing's pinging. So then this would be like either Sharon or Sherry. Oh, it must be Sharon. Wait, is Sherry like a known shorthand for Sharon? Dear. I'm still enjoying it. Yeah, it's fun. There's a Sherry's here in Orlando. The owner of the business is listed as Sherry. Sherry has a large van and on weekends can bring the style of Brittany, Christina, or even Rachel to your door. It's very, very long percentage as one paragraph with multiple run-on sentences and no pictures. You get the sense that if she were to do your hair, she'd be doing a lot of talking. It mentioned that her husband Pete was her late husband's college roommate. She does indeed appear to have married twice. This is going to be Pete someone. She and he had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow and they built a charity together. They left the charity behind because it was growing beyond their ability to run it. She also brags about her kids, Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Oh, consider yourself menaced. Her oldest, Tony, seems to get the short end of the stick. His two listed compliments are that he's the oldest and he's a straight A student. Mark, on the other hand, has multiple baseball accomplishments listed. Apparently, his Little League team is nationally recognized. Cricket York is near the end. Oh, he's called York. Okay, so that would probably mean he's called Peter York. And this has got to be Cricket. And there's an entire section dedicated to her. She's an... Oh, maybe not. Maybe I got this completely wrong. She's an actress on a local television show called Liberty Library. And the reason Sherry relocated from Miami to Orlando is a stylist for the show. The agent recommended they change her last name to York since it is easier to pronounce. The rest of the section is how she got the part, but it seems unimportant to your search. Okay. It's a children's show filmed at a studio in Orlando, Florida. It's been on the air since 91. In the show, multiple adults and children interact with different animal puppets in a small town called Liberty. Unlike some other popular shows involving non-human performers, this one isn't funded by the public. Instead, it's paid for by donations from businesses related to education. This includes textbook manufacturers like Arithmetic, tutoring companies such as Educate to You, and a few well-known publishers of picture books. It's syndicated in a few markets across the southern United States. Many years ago, because the show has been documented a few fan sites. There's even a... Okay, that's the same search. Joined the cast in 97 at the age of 5 and is still listed as a current cast member. Okay, so then we have a picture of Cricket. It's probably this one, not this one. Actor. Okay, still nothing is pinged. Are we still only looking for 4? All right, we've got so much shit wrong then, if that's the case. Oh, dear. Motivational speaker? Is that a public speaker? Hey, have a good one, Chunks. If we don't see you, have a good weekend. All right, so that did confirm that. That did confirm that. And that confirmed that. Okay, so that is now finished. We still need to work on this one. I think we just need to find a picture. I don't think that's her. I have no idea who these other affairs are. You didn't ping, though. All right, and you're a hairstylist, hairdresser. All right, so somebody Yatsmutsky has got to be the spouse. Wait, you weren't married twice, were you? Oh, yes, you were. Okay, so these two must be Yastamutskis. And the oldest one was called Tony. Could be Anthony. The other one was called Mark? Yeah. I'll put you in K12 for now. Do. All right, let's do. You're not a Teen Blast. Nothing in there for you. Did you mention your husband's name? All right, one of them had a lot of baseball accomplishments. All right, there's no way I'm going to spell that surname. All right, we also did a lot of search for this woman, and I don't know why. I think it may have been just to find this book. Okay. I know it says they use the web name, but I'm pretty sure that is her name. All right, anything else on here? Anywhere in the world that you can find. Instead, a man named Chris Elmsworth has invented a small town newspaper as a conceptual art piece. The Kicking Waffles Gazette is a series of online articles about small restaurant shows and other tourist attractions all across the US. This is presented as a monthly newspaper of small town America. It's amongst the articles dealing in real locations, occasional stories that present outlandish, inflammatory concepts in extremely mundane ways. Oh, talking of, have you seen the big fallout between old Trump and Musk? No. For example, on the homepage right now is an article entitled Mermaids Strike Back Against Lobster Farms. Well, we're going to have to look that up. Using very dry language, details the idea that the mermaids in Maine have begun to unionize in support of better benefits. There are no punchlines, and the articles are not marked any differently from the rest. There are no archives of old issues. Yeah, that just brings us back to that. Isabel Crosby, Quentin Flyer, is superintendent of Benton County. There's a Benton County in 9 different states in the US. There hasn't been a Benton County in Florida since 1850, so you're not sure which one Isabel Crosby comes from. Searching for Isabel Crosby doesn't lead to anything that seems to fit what you're looking for. Now you want me to write Mermaids versus Lobster Farmers, the legal epic? Okay, I can't really see that you're going to want me to do that. Is apparently one of 3 brothers. All 3 of them contributed to the newspaper, and he tends to focus more on the southeastern United States. All of the articles he's written are archived on his site, including the long-form version of your Bob Williams motivational show. According to Victor, he had seen Bob talk more than once. On this particular occasion, Bob's talk was at a very large church, and it was clear she was an expert in matching the presentation of her concept to any particular crowd because she received a standing ovation. Bob told a story about loss, specifically the loss of a bicyclist who had been hit by a car. He spoke about the death of any person as a darkness and their loved ones, a cold, empty void that begins to creep into a space where there once was light. Because the light can never return exactly how it once was, she says the only option is to nurture new sources of light to help fight back the darkness. You can't handle the melted butter. A conclusion was that finding the hidden meanings and tragedy is the most important thing we can do. She used multiple biblical comparisons finished by looping back around to her initial story, and as she personally began to come around to this ideology, the biker who died was her son-in-law, and the Lanes Across America charity was created to fill the newfound darkness her daughter experienced. Dear. They mentioned Lanes Across America have a similar summary of them. Formerly Lamb. Lanes Across Miami? Was founded in 1987 after the death of Drew Smith. Drew was biking home from work when he got hit by a car. Each year since, Lanes Across America has grown, and they've now have offices in over 12 major metropolitan areas, including Miami, where the charity began. Okay, so we've got a photo of Drew. Oh, Drew. Oh, Drew, you know how to live. Oh, sorry, you did until you got run over. Would you really be called Drew Yatskaminsky? Drew is not an option. So what? Andrew? Really? There's nothing in the Miami Mercury about Lanes Across America. I find that hard to believe, but okay. Oh, dear. Oh, no, he was Drew Smith. Wait, the fuck does this all come into it? Did say son-in-law though, right? Yeah, the newfound darkness her daughter experienced. The biker who died was her son-in-law. mean, if your name was just Cricket Smith, I don't see why they would change your name. No, we definitely made that link somewhere. He was a late husband's college roommate, but if your late husband is just called Drew Smith. To the danger zone. Confused.com. Unless you did change your name to York, so maybe you're Yasamitsky, and then you're Andrew Smith. We should make these Smiths. Good luck looking up a Mark Smith. I mean, goddamn. The danger zone. The danger zone. All right. How did I first get to Yitsamitsky? God knows. My lovely, lovely, lovely home. Running through the field. And the news last year in a primetime news program did a full comparison of their 4th edition textbooks and their 5th edition. Schools were complaining that the 2 editions seemed remarkably similar. Was charging almost double for the new edition than they had for the previous ones. That's capitalism, baby. The news program announced that between the 2 books, there were only 16 total changes. The most notable was that the cover was changed from a picture of a water droplet, creating concept. Oh, God, no, not today. On a lake to a close-up of a feather. The other 15 were all instances of changing 4th to 5th. This even led to a geometry problem where the book asked users to calculate the fifth side of a rectangle. They have a deal with Library Library and features some of the actors from the show and pictures on their website. According to the site, they actually provide tutoring for all of the actors and actors on the show to accommodate the shooting schedules. Included is Cricket York, who was seen in a photo labelled Cricket and her brothers ready to learn from one of our talented tutors. You don't find much else about, except that there seems to be a small subsection fans who are deeply unsettled by the company's logo, which would appear after the credits on each episode. One writes, I was terrified of the little girl in the logo. She looked like some kind of demon doll, and I'd race to the TV every day to switch the dial before her creepy laugh came on. Oh, well, I hope we get to see that. That's creepy-ish. He definitely didn't ping, although... Yeah, that should be at least 4 that I think are right. Shit. We're still on 4? Yes. I mean, you're both an actor and a student. Names could be the other way around. No, Tony's definitely the oldest. Definitely said that. And you look like the oldest. Oh, look, they're all perfect students. So I wonder if you should be web then. No, that didn't do it. Maybe you should be... That also didn't do it. Alright, well, we definitely got something wrong somewhere then. Okay. Do. You learn that the word lamb means to hit someone. Well, there you go. Alright. Let's go back to Sherry's hair. It definitely wasn't just Tony, right? No, just Tony. Who did I think was married to Val? Every day I worry all day. I was waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes of lust. Alright, so pretty sure that's true. There's got to be a picture of him somewhere. Probably the both of them. It's going to be this Little League team. It's possible they all took... They all took his name. But then you would expect to find he and adopted there. Probably loved a hunky dog. That's what I said. Yeah, paranormal tragedy. We still haven't gone down that way enough. Yeah, there's a charity. We know that Pete Yatamaski and Andrew Smith were friends. I also have to imagine that this is Sharon, whoever we're looking for. Hey, cheers for the lit right up. We search for Basil Bub, right? Pretty sure we look for big bass, sea bass. Rated. We never found out too much about Sanchez. Alright, I don't know what we got wrong here, unless they took this name. It didn't click, so I'm going to put them back to Smith. Right, Tony. Oh, hang on. On the wrong one. Yeah, Tony's the oldest. Right, nothing there. We don't have like a sports periodical yet. When you are rolling. We've looked for you. There's got to be something we can find there. Okay, so he was part of the charity. Do 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 do. Oh wait, they're not in Miami. They're in Orlando now. What was printed out for Lanes Across America? Was this, right? Got me sick. My stick is better than bacon. Pretty sure I've already done this. It started in Miami, though. All right, I don't really know what to jump on here. There's no mention of a production company. We looked at them. Okay, that was just for jokes. Alright, not doing well in the magazines. Okay. Yeah, we know that. They got us to Wildcat Construction. Okay, we did look at that already. Die. That's why you need Wildcat. Um. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that makes sense. Daughters Barb and Sharon, even though that's what this weird relationship was. Let's see, that all makes sense. Nothing for you. All right. Oh, what do we try and move on to? You never take me alive. Oh, I'm sure it's one of you who had to win. Oh, okay, you didn't know a name. Oh no, there's Colin Webb right there. Do. She doesn't seem related to your search in any way. Okay. Do 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 do. All right. Do 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 do. What's he called? Is he? Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. I think we looked into that. We know about his losing his job. He was transporting animals over the Canadian-Mexican borders. I remember that. All right, did we ever look him up? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, that's right. He's bit on the crocodile. Do 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 do. Ba 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 da ba. All right, I am running out of things to search for. We gotta try and find the search that's gonna yield results in telephoto. Do 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 do. I also don't know what LBP stands for. What's Lincoln Baby Photography? Lincoln Baby Photography seems like a solid lead that mentions a Val, an award-winning photographer on the page. It's a business in Beacon, New York, and on the site has a picture of a baby and a camera caption with Cam Lincoln reaching for his namesake. I guess he takes after his father, Val. Alright, so that would indicate that you're called Val Lincoln. And you're a Cam? Oh, there's a Cam. Alright, Cam Lincoln. This was copyright when? You don't tell me there. Copyright 98 to 99. So I think he probably is still Occupation Baby. There's a knock on my door. Oh my god, it's both
Hey
of them.
there, it's us. So I just have to say, the work you're doing here is fantastic.
So fantastic, in fact.
There goes Clark. Always the bad cop. Go ahead.
Oh god, here we go.
Well, our law firm, Ruby Legal Enterprises, is having trouble keeping up. They're actually begging us to stop submitting new root trees. They said it's getting difficult to verify your progress.
Well, consider that a good thing. I told Clark you'd get results.
She says that like I didn't believe her. Regardless, the bad news is it's going to take 5
Yeah.
Good luck.
And keep up the good work.
Okay, so that would indicate that we're wrong about you, which doesn't make a lot of sense. We were right about this, but we never found a picture of these two. Alright, so now if we search for... Do you know this is sort of a real job? If we search for... No, hang on. As well as photo portrait of the article has been added to your evidence. Oh, you are a Clementine. Oh, you were in the army at some point. I don't know if we knew that. Ancestry hires local researchers to aggregate and compile all this historical data as places release them due to privacy expiring. Focus on the photos of Val Lincoln, a photographer who went overseas during Desert Storm. He won the Sepia Award for photojournalism. Val got started in high school when he took a photography class because he couldn't decide what else to do and thought it would be the best career in the world to shoot for Playboy. Okay. He tried to pivot to landscape photography but didn't have any passion for it. He got lucky. Most people wouldn't call it lucky to go on an active war zone for no pay, but he bought my plane tickets, all my meals, and even pulled some strings so we could rush my passport. For someone that never left a real job, or had a real job, or even left California, it was a hell of a break. Depicts Lisa Clementine. Oh, that's got to be the other sister then. When we're not subject to direct combat and Lisa was in a vehicle at the time, the vehicle had to pull over suddenly when the road ahead was partially destroyed. And she and a fellow soldier were severely injured by a landmine. I ran into Lisa just after surgery and took this picture. Then, until she shipped out, I kept finding excuses to go back and take more pictures of her. I guess it was fake because that's the photo that won me an award, got me into your magazine, and also led to my engagement. Just earlier this week, she agreed to become... Oh, wait. Okay, we got this completely wrong. Lisa is the older one. Okay, so then you have... I could have sworn Mary had some kids, but obviously I got that wrong. So you're actually Lisa. And you're... I mean, you were in the army. Is soldier? Military. Your sister did this when she was on probation for a librarian job? Oh, dear. You moved from privacy to historically academic. Okay, so those may now be correct. We still need to try and find a picture of these two. I don't know how we're going to do that. You've still got one piece of information, apparently. Okay. That's a chef's signature. From Wicked Awful to Wicked Wicked. It was an antique store called Bee's Things. Apparently the owner Beatrice is not very friendly. Wicked Wicked is a comic book store in Cambridge called the Million Year Picnic. As far as you can tell, nothing besides Friday seems to be connected to your search in any way. Oh dear. Alright, okay. I don't think that's particularly helpful. So we've almost completed that side. I think those two will pop. So I think we're done there. We've got a lot more work to do on Guy Hudson. Okay, so I'm assuming Susan Ford must have got married to Stephen Garland at some point. Susan Ford, I think, was the one involved in the... God, who did she marry again? Garland. It was about a charity. I'm not finding it in here. Where the hell did that come from? That was the Maple Fire in Brazil. I vaguely remember that. So we have no idea who this is. We would have got Susan Ford from... Oh, where is it? This. Yeah, there's Christine Farrow, who we've put down here. Oh, we've got you married to a Stephen Garland as well. And he actually belongs down there. Okay. So this must have been pure guesswork. Okay, all right, that's fine. Christine Farrow became Christine Garland. Okay. Christine Garland gets sacked. Susan Ford was hired on a special one. Yes, because that was the interpreter for the trip. And it's in here, actually, that we get to... Probably the next one, that we get to the charity thing. Susan Ford is now an office staff. There's a Ms. Ford. How Ops main campus operates a smaller building. Also, a very vague history section is somewhat filling with details. What's stopping you from writing epic about your favorite takeaway? I feel like this is a joke coming up. Oh dear. The Jonas Brothers did it, why can't you? Of an employee of Roottree at the time who's got to be this Ford woman. Wait, this one down the middle. This is going to be Ford. To surprise her. Oh no, her future husband who was deaf. That's why I put you over there. So maybe she may not be an affair at all. She may be a red herring. But yes, if you got married, then you have to be over here. And then I don't know who this is. Yeah, Thomas Huge was coincidentally former student at the school. Just in weeks after he married the school's newest teacher, Mrs. Huge. So I wonder if this is meant to be them. He was not the father, which would make sense if it isn't a fair baby. Did they get divorced over here? See, they only split up. Do they make a difference between split up and divorced? They do not. Okay, so maybe then. That means he would have had to have 2 babies. And if they split up... have all avoided further appearances in Butler County Times. She'd be called what? Susan? No, nothing there. imagine that'd be the same thing, yeah. We don't know. We have no idea if that is correct or not. Alright, we need to do some more searching here. See if I find anything there. Alright, alright. I think I'm gonna have to. Do a little bit more searching here. Alright, in the previous one. Yeah, see, like they went quite away on their little search. I get knocked down. Who else could it be? Has to be the year it came out. So you got Terry O'Connor. We have no idea who that is. Susan Ford is still here. You're never gonna keep me down. They get rid of Susan Ford as soon as Guy Hudson dies. When I get up again. Alright, nothing immediately obvious in those names. And yeah, we know all about that. Okay, I think Susan Ford is an affair. I don't know if I ever looked up that. And it's not going to be. Your Henry seems to be working well enough. The other day, you thought you heard a grinding noise, but turned out to be a cat outside your window pushing a tin can around. All right, we brought a lemon of a PC. Okay, what What am I missing here? Um, okay, that doesn't get added as a... We've still never found these missing pages from Pico T, which I'm pretty sure we have to at some point. This is what brought us to Lanes Across America, which led us to Andrew Smith. Even a spell adversity. We looked up all the Williams in here. We only got stuff for Bess. There's nothing about Andrew Smith being killed. Must have been the worst newspaper in the world. Didn't even cover a huge charity opening up in their jurisdiction. All right. So we can... Wait, we found another picture of you. Who the fuck are you? Oh, you're probably him. All right, if we could break this a little bit, I think we'd be in a better place. Oh, I think I might need to go make myself another cup of thinking juice. Oh, is that not what the magazine is called? Amazon name. Okay, let's just take me back to the thing. Alright, nothing there. There's a utensil that will help you lose £50. Big Sass Sea Bass. When you press the button to speak into it, mimics your voice and then insults you. Many people consider it a rip-off of more popular War Magic communication-based fish decoration. Okay, no, we definitely read this. Later, the page still exists and is thriving. The visitor count has reached 7 digits. Many older articles have been replaced. It seems that the recent uprising in Roottree News has left Thomas Overwood with a constant stream of events to base new theories on. When you have this many high-profile people who have died in a family, the odds are that one of them faked their death. It's just math. He's begun believing the guide's not dead theory. In his own words, my eyes have been opened. All this begins to make much more sense. Details the belief that Ron Roottree is still in charge. Gwyn Roottree's death was fate and the clerk is only there to throw people off. Apparently this allowed Ron to travel to France to develop their new candy recipe in secret. He can't possibly Roottree. One of his first album songs, who's performing under the Devil name, actually mentioned that he wanted to have sex with... Okay, Sam Madden is an anagram for Am Madness. They're purposely leaving hints for us. He claims that by using 6 pieces of Ron Roottree's book by keyboard, he has begun to decrypt a cipher. Most of the cipher has seemed meaningless, but he managed to pick out the words people and vastness and has worked on figuring out what it means. There's also a request at the bottom. Next year, 2000 is a leap year, and Overwood is looking for funds and volunteers to catch the Roottree's red-handed in Operation RT29. He specifically mentioned not to volunteer if you've ever drunk Spirit Cola. None of this seems okay. Some people are claiming that Roottree are changing the candy recipe to include more and more chemicals. It's possible to get away with nearly any crime on a leap day so long as it isn't discovered until after the day is over. I think we meant to find this the first time round. To predict people and eventually induce mind control.
For the Emperor!
Beep boop. Hello, YouTube LP. Alright, the conspiracy didn't really help me. Oh yeah, my keyboard beep boop, didn't it? You only do books, right? You wouldn't do magazine. No, that's why we got periodicals. Oh, I think it's time for a top up on my thinking juice. Let's see if we can. We'll see if we can crack some more. Especially as I just got some hammer time delivered to me and slapped. Wow. All right. I'm definitely going to go and sulk in the corner and make myself some coffee. I will be right back. Alrighty, I am back. Had to really scrape the coffee tin to get enough out to make a coffee there. All right. I don't think we got any photos where we don't realistically know. Oh, we're not too sure about this one. Alright, so you started with... Can I search my history? Dear. Dear. Alright, so if we then search for... It would help if I spelled Brazil, right? What's Roottree everywhere? Did we ever look that up? Very different, sometimes haphazard ways. It's minimum organized information about the history of the expansion itself online. It's good places like Canada, Mexico, and select countries in Europe. Roottree everywhere involve Roottree's expansion to other major markets. Some of the companies created to manufacture and distribute Roottree candy. After impressing the American leadership, did have some success, but in certain regions. He had a popular brand of licorice called Martin's Licorice Bullets. He had to develop, he used his own wealth. Had a very unusual business agreement with the main Roottree company, much like the trust. The province of the Roottree Isles would be split 50-50 between the American Roottree company and Martin himself, for him to do what he wishes. This made Martin very, very wealthy, but also led to many cost-cutting measures meant to increase profits as much as possible. Yeah. Top 100 wealthiest women in the world. She owns a private island off the coast of Australia. Nice. She has no husband, and there's a wide circulating rumor from the mid-70s that she had a medical procedure to ensure she never would have children. You find a joke on a site called Edgy Jokes that implies she's quite promiscuous and has a punchline involving Robin's eggs. For what it's worth, Martin seemed to lean into the rumours in the 80s. She once showed up at a charity function with 3 very attractive men, each wearing a shirt that said simply satisfied partner on it. There's a lot of jokes about the band U2 for whatever reason. Alright. I think there's a little bit of a dead end. We know about Brazil. What about China? Created manufacturing of Roottree candies. Had to part the Roottree everywhere. In the late 70s, China began to go through a period of blah, 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 blah. Lang Hongbo, who was said to personally win over the Roottree family and was the owner of multiple taste factories, did not wish to import the ingredients and build a special factory to manufacture candy in China. So instead, they made it be able to import bulk, unpackaged Roottree candy and label it for not only China, but additional markets. Only had daughters, and his brother took control upon his death. Passed to the oldest child from the next generation. I probably should have highlighted some of the Australian names. It's a company that's had to spend... Company seems very accomplished. The site has quotes from many different reporters. A news article listed on it in nearly... Names prove that the company's been in the Lang family for a long time. He goes back at least 250 years. During the period where they began the Roottree deal, the family names come first, so Lang is his last name. Was the CEO? He died before the internet was widespread, so there's not much out there. Blah, 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 blah. His younger brother is featured on the history section directly following him. There seems to be the only mention of the man. Okay, so then... Oh, I printed out a picture. This has got to be important. As a businesswoman currently running, she was recently listed in an article on a website written by and for women. The article, entitled Empowered, is about the recent rise of women entrepreneurs in China. The article states that due to her lack of brothers, took over CEO of a family's company in 1992 after her elderly uncle was deemed unfit to run the company. This was apparently an extremely controversial move amongst the company's employees, and some of them quit and wrote a letter stating that she must have coerced him in his vulnerable state. Since then, the company's been performing well. Her nephew is currently her second in command, expected to take over when she retires. In the meantime, the board stance has been a twist on a popular proverb. Someone that has proven they can do something well can do it 100 times well. An unproven leader could doom us all. An early adopter of IVF and helped her sister have a child. It says it's from 92 when she took over. She was 45 at the time. It's been added to your evidence. Guy Hudson did go to China. So do we think that's what this is? Okay, we've been through this. I'm gonna sneeze. One of the Roottree's logo. And the names are considering they're the loudest quilts you've ever seen. How do you get a loud quilt? The main quilt featured on the website is a I see. A flaming unicorn soaring through space with peace symbols all around it. Although they were listed on the website, they don't seem to have much of a connection. It appears they import cloth. So they changed the name. There are a lot of other companies listed here too many to investigate. They offer fabrics and The business is said to be owned by husband and wife Jerry and Linda Han. Their Chinese names are listed too. From using online translator, it seems that Jerry... Okay, so this is the person we're looking for. One of though none of you are married. Okay, we know that. That's because deals are new at the time. Medical industry. Belly rolled out first because I've been there. Seen the industry begin to grow and the featured. CEO of Lang Tai was Lang Hongbo, and his younger daughter and her husband could not have children. So in an attempt to create suitable heir, he paid to have their child implanted in his older daughter, who was unmarried. The cost of this was apparently $380,000, or just over 100,000 US dollars. That would also indicate that they're... Don't know what we're meant to take from that. There's way too much information. In fact, there's a picture of her as well. Makes me think she's got to go on here somewhere, but fucking hell. In the list of where they traveled... Okay, so China was before Brazil, assuming they did this... Yeah, it's not in alphabetical order. So assuming they did this in time order, hey Rogu. Then China would have been here? Then Brazil. God, Guy Hudson was a busy little bee during this little period of his life. It was a medical company. They made international news after a whisper came forward. Apparently, the service was in some cases falsified. The few of the customers paid for a very different service and alibi. Here we go. The company would claim they performed IVF on someone who was already pregnant to create a cover story for high-profile families who did not want to give up the child but did not want the shame of an unmarried mother. The whistleblower claimed they'd helped to do this at least 6 times, but only provided proof of one case. The daughter of an American politician who was unrelated to investigation. Both fans have reportedly fled to Lebanon. Wow. They have the same continent right to live up to the American stereotype. Okay. What was her American name? Linda. Jerry, Linda, and Mark Hahn appeared recently on a website called Focus on Philanthropy under the headline Hanging with the Hands. The Hands were chosen because they donate significantly to causes that further Chinese American culture. Jerry and Linda were both born in China and fell in love during college. Linda's father led a large company. After it expanded to the US, Linda's father approved their marriage so long as Jerry took over the US portion of the business. Linda jokes that the entire situation was like something out of Alanis Morissette's song with how ironic it all ended up. I was absolutely terrified to move to the US, but my big sister was desperately in love with the idea. She used to have this Butch Cassidy poster on the wall and was obsessed with Robert Redford. But somehow Jerry and I were the ones sent here, and now we couldn't possibly imagine going back. When we had Mark, we never even considered giving him a traditional name. Meanwhile, my sister stayed in China and has thrived there. She doesn't even like visiting the US anymore. Our kids are complete opposite, though. Mark couldn't wait to travel abroad as soon as he was old enough. He's actually in business school in China now, working with my sister. Our niece. Hey, cheers for the low rider. Who grew up there was the opposite. She couldn't wait to get here. She started calling herself Lucy Lang in high school and flew out here as soon as she graduated. The name change apparently drove my sister absolutely loco. God, I'm picking this one. It's not going to be easy. could be this one, but there's no. And in this one, there's no marriage involved, which is odd. Although I guess that would make sense, right? Could be here, of course, although I mean she would have 2 kids and I think she's only got 1, which would put her here. I'd have to remember to do this the right way around. Lisa Lang is mentioned on a robotics website as part of Team Talonclaw. Another Lisa Lang is part of a small women's a cappella group in Los Angeles. The robot also named Talonclaw has been selected for appearance on the 2nd season of the British television show focused on robot fighting. Good old Robot Wars. Small blurb mentioned that robot fighting leagues have existed for a few years, but there have been recent moves to televise it. Talonclaw is one of the 2 teams selected from the US. Robotics Club, meet every Tuesday and Thursday. I feel like we're going down a rabbit hole here. The Gin and Tonics are a college a cappella group out of LA, and there doesn't seem to be much else about her other than the name that she performs as a solo song called Like the Wind. The group featured on a CD compilation called Boca. It doesn't seem relevant to your search. Boca stands for Best of College a cappella and has existed since 95. It's a compilation of various a cappella groups at different colleges. It'll be maybe he's ever done a cover of a song by Jim and Diver, for example. Maybe someday. I was hoping we'd get to listen to this. Lead synergy engineer who's listed as being ranked one of the top facilitators in the world by Business Watch magazine. We already know about Business Watch, right? Yeah. Unclear the exact services they provide, the site's not details. There are a few high-profile companies listed on the site's home clients. You recognise their names, but none of them related to your current investigation. So basically, you go around and you fire people. She grew up in a small Arkansas town, the oldest of 4 children. She's the second person in the family to ever have even left the state. Okay, this isn't her. That's actually drawing parallels to real life, the robot fighting thing. Alright, so then... God, I wonder what names they would actually want. I think he was a Mark Hahn, right? Oh, Mark with a K there. I don't believe this is correct. Oh shit, what is she? CEO? Yeah, it says me about there. Okay, when we had Mark, we never could even consider giving him a traditional name. So he is Mark Han, but she's probably whatever the hell she was called before. All right, I don't think that is correct. Still don't have a picture of you. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3. Oh, we got 10 left. Oh god, we haven't even started on this tree yet. Fucking hell. Alright, nothing there. I used to. I'm assuming the US. I don't know where Robot Wars started, honestly, but yeah, Robot Wars over here was great. It was the guy from Red Dwarf. Craig Charles, who also did Takeshi's Castle over here as well. Hey, welcome back, LP.
I'm back, baby.
YouTube is so quiet on the tumbleweeds boost your chat with. Oh dear. It's fine. We all know me streaming is slowly dying. Okay, what else can I look up? We're all slowly dying. That is true. Yeah, it's these private parties I feel we need to learn more of. So this was Christine and Steve Garland, and we know Steve Garland is here. So we know she's one of the Christines. And I think if we look back at the confidential files, no, they've already married by then. Christine Farrow came in, and then Christine Farrow left, but Christine Garland is there. So yeah, That's right on the names, at least. They grew apart when the restaurant switched suppliers. They reconnected by chance and eloped at the end of last year. Now she has a bun in the oven and they're both working as much as they can. Trying to save money to move to Boston and open up their own restaurant. Oh, hang on. Damn, that's where we go. Can't imagine you're going to be in there. And they're a dessert restaurant that serves a variety of dishes meant to evoke a neglected part of the house. Cobweb cobbler, which uses candy floss on top of blackberry pie. They also have a cheesecake they call the Dust Bowl, which is served in a mason jar. And there's a very finely crushed cookie atop it. As delicious as it all sounds, the restaurant doesn't seem related to your search in any way. Let's grab this. Rush Hour husband Mark Zimmer. I have a few mentions. Oh, he was the guy who was sued by Steve Garland. How much do we think we know about this? Oh, we know the kid. The kids were the chefs. Okay, we just possibly don't have a picture of her unless secretary is wrong. I'll keep you as secretary. I'm not convinced that is you. I'm happy with those two. I don't know how we're going to get a picture of you. That might make sense, but again, as for this one, I have absolutely no idea how to break into that one. It doesn't seem to be advertising anywhere. Surprised we can't find more about the charity. spell your surname. Was it Business Watch? Is that not a French one? Is it Roottree Brazil? I was going to say it definitely exists. There's a Roottree everywhere, so it wasn't coming up. Negotiations broke down pretty late in the process. Had the company already been formed, and the leadership of Roottree went through a very large change soon after. Was meant to be a Tristan Robert. Who are you? He's still alive. You come across an interview on related to Roottree. It seems that other countries would have not been immune. Have not been immune to Roottree Mania. You recognize the word Roottree in one of the questions. It seems the interviewer stuck in the question. He mentions Guy by first name only, and the tale he tells is quite ugly. Guy, the president of Roottree, was one of the worst men I've ever met. He approached my wife about having an affair, which she refused. This is coming from a Frenchman. He then kept insisting that this was the best way to celebrate the end of our business contract. I don't think he expected her to say no, and I don't think he thought she would tell me what happened. I punched him in the face and refused to attend another meeting with this man. They lost a lot of money on this deal because not only was he a terrible person, but he was also a terrible businessman. When he died shortly after, it felt like the universe was working things out. I wasn't surprised to learn he had a secret child. He seemed to treat women like collectible pocket monsters. It seems mentioning Pokemon sidetracks the questions a bit, and the interview never returns to the subject of Roottree. Okay. I don't think that helped. He already had a child when he was in France, but I feel like we knew that. Would have been this guy, probably. Dear. Alright. Didn't really help. I don't think I need to search up Pokemon. No, we knew about your bullets. Sorry, Robin's eggs. Guidelines for large holiday parties. Alright, how can I get a link to those parties? I have absolutely no idea. Don't know how to try and find these missing pages. There's obviously a way of doing it. Yeah, we know about that. Do we know about an Elizabeth who had an affair yet? With this guy? You're Joanna. You're Christine. We do not know about an Elizabeth. No, wait, your daughter, right? This is Christine. Am I inspired to write a novel like this? All right. Is that not your name? No, there's a James or Robert. I don't know where Chris came from. Okay, that's just that. You can't imagine the amount of writing needed for all of this. Alright, there's still something here we haven't put together. It's probably going to do with Christine. That was Rafa tunes again. To receive a discount from the telephone company. Okay. We found a scam. Alright, nothing in there. Oh dear. I'd love to see the what would you call it? Like mind map or connection tree for this game that links everything together. Definitely struggling with this one. Do, 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 do. Brr. We know about this. This is where we get the Thomas Hughes from. We have no idea who that is. Just can't get a picture of you. Oh, there's a lot of advertising. Okay. We know about you. Tower connections. Tower reporter fired from a rival network and blacklisted. Wow. She essentially had her husband forced upon her as a child bride at the age of 15. do. Okay, it's nothing new in there. Nothing in news time. Oh, we're not finding anything new out. We've got a little bit from China. Lost and confused. Um. I wanted to look at reminders. Do. Robbie Roottree is released from French prison after serving a few years for assault. He's not returned to the US, but when journalists reached out to him recently after the death of his mother, he had issued a blanket statement a few days ago. Death of my mother was hard on family. Brother and I spent time together, came for a morning, and finally made amends. It was a highly transformative few weeks when it came to our relationship. I'm in recovery from my addiction, and a major aspect of that process is that I wish to stay private. Okay, that doesn't move things along. That's the Roottree Rift. I believe in sweet cold love. Definitely struggling with this one. Also, I'm going to be right back. I need to pee.
It's
Mod.
love between two
Mods. Oh no, I missed most of in the Navy. Oh, it's a long run up to the house for a pee. I need to build a much closer toilet. All right. Oh, all right. I just need to move. Yeah, I mean, that would also be ideal, but. Glad I'm allowed in the house to pee. I know that privilege will be revoked again. Oh dear. On the duplicate print, I think it's done. I say I think because I need to go and read through it again. But yeah, I think it's done. So I think we're very much on track to get it out. Honestly, I think it's done. I might even put it out earlier than the end of this month, but I think we're definitely on track to get it out by the end of this month. All right, we're gonna try and find these missing pages. Here's some robot wars already. What's it? It's called like Felix Fellows. Let's see if they covered this as well. Ah, shit, where is he? He's up here. Yeah, but he's not known as David. I think he is Felix. What is the name of the lawyer? She was involved in the... She's called like Ruby something. She was involved in this one. Would you have covered this in? I'm just putting anything into anything right now. Okay. It's not free to expose details that other publications would avoid. Shortly after the announcement that Jane Doe Roottree was not a Roottree, Picty exposed personal details about the story of Anonymum under the headline Anonymum the Any Anonicon, which the manager of the department store in North Carolina, and the daughter's name was Courtney May. They also said that the woman that vouched for her famous cover story, they didn't identify news time, perhaps avoid being sued, is named Corinne S., and that she had filed for bankruptcy. The article speculates that Anonymum and Corinne were in on it together, and even speculates that they might have been lovers. The information wasn't particularly actionable. Very few people seemed to notice or care. Okay, did that really help? Any Corins in here?
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Yes, this is the theme song for Robot Wars. Although I don't think you ever heard this much of it. To track down... Okay, she recently had to...
Take a leave of absence because people showed up at the car dealership where she works. She's begging people to stop the accusations so she can get back to a normal life. In every article we find, the journalists involved have independently verified that she is not a non-mom. I don't know if this is a worthwhile. Oh dear. Okay, well that we found something, but it didn't actually help us. No, wait, that's the wrong one. There we go. Worked as a manager at department store. Sad maker Courtney May. Courtney May Watts, maybe? Courtney May is a simple website with black text on a white background with a few images. From the view counter, you can tell you're one of only a few hundred people who has visited it. She's not shy about claiming she is Jane Doe Roottree. As proof, she has posted an unobscured cover from the time she's featured on News Time, as well as a different picture of herself that appears to be a wedding photo. The website seems to be created in defense of her mother, who's been the target of public scrutiny. Under the headline, The True Story of Jane Doe Roottree, courtesy of Courtney May Newton. Everyone has everything wrong. My mum approached the Roottrees because 5p... Oh, before 5p was on the cover of News Time, nobody at the Roottree company took us seriously. They only listened to us after we appeared on TV and in magazines. The site has a scanned letter from the Ruby legal group to Courtney May's mother, Beatrice. In very polite legal terms, it seems to accuse her of exploiting the name and orders her to leave the Rootrees alone. It is dated from a few weeks before the 5p's article appeared in News Time, and it seems legit. Courtney May also discusses her mother's magazine feature in more detail. Do you know how difficult it was to convince anyone to tell her story? My mum didn't want to show her face because everyone in the media we approached assumed she was lying, because her story was just like 5p's, but my mum's story was first. Mum was advised by Ryan and Cork to tell News Time that seeing 5p's on the cover was what inspired her to go public. Who the hell are Ryan and Cork? That's the only way News Time would agree to it and help get on TV, but it's not true. Our story was first. Towards the end, she discusses DNA tests and defends her mother's character. My mum is amazing. She's the nicest woman in the world. She has diabetes and works as a department store, but still managed to help pay for my apartment in the big city so that I could save my high school sweetheart. I got a degree in nursing, so I learned about DNA in college, but I'm beginning to think it's all a lie. Mum was 100% confident that there's nobody else who could be the father. Either they did the test wrong, or DNA is complete BS. She is not a liar. Okay. We found some more evidence, at least. Right, you have to assume that one of them... Oh, she's a nurse. She's a nurse. And you would be called Danny something. Now we're led to believe that Anonymous story is not on this board. So I have no idea how any of that has helped. Do, 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 do. Bu- 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 Oh, we need to get these goddamn pages, but I don't know how to try and get them. Run, 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 jump. You can be a backpack while you jump. Nothing in there either. Alright, well, new information, but I don't know how it helps. Gotta forget these goddamn missing pages. Ba, ba, da, ba, ba, da, da, da. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. We can look at this. It's going to tell us about the fame. Yeah, if we can find these pictures. We already did a search for Roottree conspiracies, didn't we? I'm sure that's how you spell conspiracy. Where's that reminder? Do do do. This is probably not useful. Do 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 do. Oh, that's where that picture of what's his face. Okay. The Guy's Not Dead conspiracy stands for a website that focuses on clues that the Rootrees have. Oh my god, there's a lot of, oh! These are the pictures we need. The story according to the website is that Guy Hudson was a terrible president of the Roottree company and introduced multiple failed products. So needed to be done that would put the company immediately and instantly back in favour of consumers, so they killed off Guy Hudson in place of a new president. This move immediately garnered sympathy and the company recovered the next year, more popular than ever. The next president stayed much further out of the limelight, and some people even theorised that he was simply Guy Hudson in an elaborate disguise, which is why he stopped appearing in public. People around the site are asking for help. They're certain that there's a clue to all of this accidentally leaked in a banned article from the magazine Pico T. On the page is kind of the magazine's cover, the interview with Cicely Sanchez about Guy Hudson and some photos. Alright, now maybe we got ourselves some new evidence. He claims to have paid a significant amount of money to write a book about one of the Rootrees. Who's president? Yeah, I met him on New Year's Eve, actually, the last night in 1978. Guy liked to throw big parties. I was just coming off of Changed Man and looking for my next project. When his wife learned who I was, she invited me to that party and they cornered me to talk about a book. That was the first time anyone recognized me from my work. I had finally made it. The book they asked me to write sounded great, but then none of the stuff that made him interesting was allowed to stay. Chop, chop, snip, snip. Anything even the slightest threat to Guy's image ended up gonzo. At his core, Guy was not complicated. In fact, I think I could boil him down to two traits. First, he wanted to be seen as the second coming of the great Elias Roottree. And second, he'd never be satisfied living the life needed to be seen that way. He had his fortune and good looks, and he really liked to exploit that to pick up women, but he couldn't let anyone else know, so it cost him a lot to cover it up. That was the only interesting aspect of Guy. He was James Bond trying to convince people he was Mr. Rogers, I guess? Maybe that's not the best metaphor, but Elias Roottree was boring as all hell and all about family. Guy did everything he could to be seen that way. After I submitted my first draft, he sent me this garbage book, The Roottree Legacy, with Elias on the cover. The last time he and I met, he had even switched out his orange suits for the same green ones Elias wore. And I remember fancy flavors. Guy knew that part of Elias's legacy was the 5-piece flavors, so that's what Guy tried to do too. Caviar was a disaster. It was actually somewhat popular in Brazil for whatever reason. In Christmas 79, he went to Brazil to open the Roottree Brazil factory. We know about this. I do like the fact there are many different ways you can loop around to find the same information. Guy was always hopping around the world trying to recreate that success. It's complicated. I had an out in my contract. Surprisingly, Guy signed the contract my lawyers wrote about running it by anybody in his legal... without running it by anyone in the legal department. I could pull my name off the book at any time, but Guy still got the content. After I left, it probably got a lot harder to convince any real publisher to give it their time. Oh dear. If I had to guess, his family very wisely put a stop to it mid-81, months after I'd already moved on. He called me back and showed me a final draft. Do you know how expensive it is to publish one copy of a book? It had my name on it in big, shiny embossed letters. Like all problems in his life, throwing money at me was his attempt to win me back. But it had half the page count and the narrative was torn to bits. No thanks. The dinner was good, imported steak that likely cost as much as a month of my mortgage, and we all got pretty drunk. He sent his mistress, Susie something, into the bathroom to proposition me. Susie something, eh? That's probably Susan Ford. Poor girl, I remember her from her trips overseas. Yes, that's definitely Susan Ford. She was too good for him anyways. He died soon after, and that was the last that ever came up. I actually haven't read it. I just skimmed the sections on Guides here where people were suddenly calling me up to ask about the man. I'd say she did well for what she had to work with. She only had rumours, whereas I spent time entertaining him. Sometimes he knew, sometimes he didn't. He invited me to join them when dealing with Roottree Brazil, but I actually had people on him when he went to Australia, France, and China too. When he met with someone, I'd figure out who they were and how they were involved. Doubly served the meeting happened when he didn't want me to be around. Despite his best efforts, I got the whole truth, including things even his family never knew. For example, the daughter of his business partner in Australia, I think her name was Robin, he and she definitely spent a few nights together that he didn't want his family to know about, but I did. Okay, so there's a possible Australian one. Sam mentions guys' affairs and treats them like most people would logically think to treat them, like the infidelity was a problem for Patricia. When his wife first approached me, though, it wasn't to talk, if you get my meaning. On paper and public, it was a marriage like any other, but in reality, it's more of a mutually beneficial arrangement. They both got what they wanted out of it, the same thing. I'm assuming you only have to spell it out so you can get it in writing for your readers. Women. Patricia enjoyed the company of women, and the swinger scene made that more accessible. I told her I wasn't interested in her and Guy. I found out later if I'd said yes, the next question would have been whether or not her husband actually had to be there too. Guy, on the other hand, was seen in a traditional marriage and at the same time could bed any woman that found him charming. I can assure you that was exactly the type of marriage he was interested in. Okay. This is the photo from the first from a magazine of two, the issue of picture, Both photos were instead under the shed label. Sisley was provided these photos by the Roottree Company for use in the book. There is a Christmas tree. And there are many faces. Okay. Okay, well that's Guy, and I'm pretty sure that's Zach. I don't know who that is. Mastic is better. That's also Guy. Maybe. Okay, so this is probably, this could be from the Australian one then. Could also be Susan Ford is down here. Oh no, 'cause she got married. That's why. I'm not sure about that. That's why we think it was over there. That is a leap and a half. Although, does that make sense based on... Would she have been there? Yes, Christine would have been there. Though only just... Oh no. I haven't heard this in a while. Dear. Alright. Those two we still haven't filled in that gap. Don't know about her job, but I'm happy with that. I think this is correct. Dear. Alright, we're gonna have to go through this a little bit more carefully. Susie something would seem to confirm that Susan Ford was involved. The interesting thing is this kind of affair with the Australian one. Do. Yeah, in Christmas '79, he went to open the Roottree Brazil factory. That's why I think they're them. Yeah, I'm free Sunday. Um, I forgot what your married name was. Do. All right. Well, we got a little bit there, but not enough. But if I'm right, this is now finished off. Let's go look at They were there before Brazil. Robin is the one who didn't have any kids, right? Which I think is how we're meant to. So yeah, it doesn't matter if they had an affair with Robin because she can't have kids. Okay, which makes me think I'm probably right with. It is the China one then. I don't think we've ever found out the sister's name. All right, so Mark is in business school in China. can't see any periodical they would be in. Okay, I don't know how this is getting to subways of your mind. Okay. An obscure Irish band called U2. God, this guy really likes getting some digs in at U2. One cited both FEX and Jim and Diamond as inspiration. So as you can tell, neither FEX nor Subways has anything to do with your search. And seeing as U2 is relatively unknown to anyone outside of Dublin, the connection seems to be an odd coincidence. Hey, have a good one, Ride Dog, and have a good weekend. No. U2 is indeed Irish, yes. Alright, that didn't get me anywhere. Alright, what about... I mean, Sharon Smith is just too generic a name, right? What about Sherry Smith? And that's a name that I cannot spell. Definitely run out of ideas again. I don't know where to get started on this one. Do. Although, I mean, we don't know if she's necessarily relevant, but Susan Ford does get a second photo. Possibly. Wouldn't say they look hugely alike, though. He is a student. He's at business school. Would you say that was some kind of college? Have we ever looked up Jerry Han? When did we search up her? Because, yeah, we're thinking this was to cover the fact that she was already pregnant. Don't we ever found out? Okay, so that just goes through the same one. Did not mean to do that. He did not bring his full name across. Was it an E? Alright, nothing about you. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. No, Mark with a K. All right. We're still apparently missing 3 things from here. Probably about Susan Ford. Gives us this. Get rid of Susan Ford as soon as Guy Hudson is dead. Okay. It's a dead end. There's not a clue here, is there? No. What is there? There's not a J there, is there? I was wondering if he named his new flavors after the people he had affairs with, but I don't think that is true. Almost works. Strawberry sugar plum, watermelon. There was a C. Caviar. But yeah, butterscotch doesn't really make a lot of sense. Oh dear. Which may lead us to... I'm pretty convinced this bit here is going to be proving Anonymom is part of this. Although, because she was a B, wasn't she? She was Beatrice. So that would make that work. Which would then possibly indicate that this isn't true. Even though they've done a DNA test, but then we're questioning the DNA tests. But anyway, when is that picture from? We don't really know. Although, was it your dad who died early? No, your dad is Clark. But still, he's only a college student now, so I'd probably be around the... See, that makes sense. That's more Susan if it's going to be a picture of anybody. I just need to try and find... which makes sense. know about this charity, but it did not give me any more information about Pete. She is part of the show. Yeah, he's probably too young for that. And that was discontinued in 1949, so she's not going to be in that. Alright, I think we've probably run out of steam. I'm happy with that one. I'm pretty sure you're just a CEO. I'm pretty sure you're a CEO, and I'm happy with that. You did go to a different job. You were a secretary. But like you, I've had to put in retail because you left. I don't know. Well, you ended up a teacher, actually. There's no such thing as teacher. There's a professor. Because she teaches American Sign Language, but only on weekends, and she may do something else. We'll try, Professor. Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? You are like a, I mean, driver doesn't sound right, but okay. What search is going to lead me to... I feel like the fact this is half of a wedding photo... And they would have married in Miami, but the Miami paper is 1949. gets me frustrated. You're not in Miami, right? You're in San Diego? Yeah. Yeah, we did read the article. That's how we worked out who those were. We're just going round and round in circles. Yeah, I feel like you'll be a bit too young for that. It just takes us here. Doesn't tell us anything about... We got something from that. We didn't get anything from that. That's the same one there. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that you've been any of these, really. I don't think we're going to crack anything else before end of stream. The biggest problem is going to be stopping me from just looking at this off stream and trying to finish it off. I don't even know what to look for right now to try and push this forward. I got another 4 in me. I do not have another 4 in me. I got to try and fix my bike. So yeah, I think that's probably about as good a place as any to wrap it up for the day. We'll be back on Sunday. The plan is to try out a demo for a new game, and then if we run out of demo, we'll switch back to Overwatch with LP. Other than that, have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and I will see you all when I see you all. Bye for now.